Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know why I expected a response to that. It wasn't really necessary, but thank you anyway. Yeah. We're really happy to see you all here. And I was just thinking beforehand, all the concerts we did before COVID, and you'd always say, we're really happy to see you all. And, you didn't always mean it, but like I really I really mean it today, because it's been a really, really long time. Yeah. So genuinely, thank you all for coming. This is going to be a lovely afternoon, we really hope. So that was the Ukrainian national anthem. Thank you all for standing. That was not expected, but we do appreciate it, yeah. Just one note, of course, to please silence your cell phones. I know you're not all used to this, as I said, it's been a while, yeah. So if you haven't done so already, we'd really appreciate that. Washrooms, of course, are at the back if you need to use it, the usual housekeeping things. But yeah, thank you again. So our first piece today is it's a short little three-parter by Octavio Pinto. It's selections from scenes from childhood. So it's we have one that's just called Running, there's one called Sleeping, and one called Ring Around the Rosie. So that really sums up my childhood. I don't know about you, but so they're just, some nice cute little pieces to get us going. And Christina has some extra instruction for you there.
Hello. 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 Oh, hello. Oh, I won't think about that while I'm playing here. Yes, so I was going to say, you don't have to do the things that we're playing. Like, don't feel like you have to get up and run or sleep or ring around the rosy. As is with many multi-movement pieces, sometimes we have the urge to applaud or shout out joyous things at the end of things. So we've decided to help you out, because we're comedians at heart. When you see this X on the piano, I will, at the appointed time, and yes, this is the sort of concert it's going to be. Just like, all right, I guess without further ado, we shall begin. This was the last thing I played.
Okay, so I'm going to play a little solo selection for you now. It's a movement from Beethoven's 10th Sonata in G major. It's one of those funny things. It's I learned at least 3 or 4 pieces during COVID, probably more. I don't know, but it was a long time. But I had this sort of backlog of pieces I wanted to play at a concert, and so it was really hard to decide on a piece. So I picked this one because I thought it was, it's light, it's fun. It's Beethoven at his most, joking. He's kind of pulling your leg the whole time. The first 4 bars, I guarantee you almost will have no idea where beat 1 is until about 4 bars in, and then it becomes very clear. And then, of course, I thought, oh, it is Mother's Day. And I would have liked to have picked something a little less funny to dedicate to my mother, because I thought, that would be nice. However, in reality, I wouldn't be playing piano if it wasn't for my mother. So anything I play is really, because of her. So, so thank you. And here we go.
hello. Sorry, I zoned out. Like, Adrian will be playing the rest of the concert, and I will be over there. So I'm not sure if anyone caught some of our, over these last 2 years of pandemic concerts, where we shared pianos and Lysol between each playing, and we had a microphone, which if we talked over here, we couldn't hear anything, and so we'd have, can you hear me now, sort of concert. This is a lovely setup. Thank you very much to Meryl and Ridley in the back. Woo! Being our sound. And I'm going to get this out of the way now. Meryl heard this through every single mic test, and she said, please don't say it again. And I said, but I'm going to have to. You know I'm going to have to. I'm really sorry. Shh. My concert. Do you want to hear the joke about pizza? Yeah? No, too cheesy. I'm going to thank Beckett Haw in the back for that one, who told me that in his lesson, and I said, I'm sharing that with everyone. Anyway, sorry. Next, we will have some Mozart. We are going to play, what are we playing? This piano sonata in D major for 2 pianos. I wrote out some thorough notes here. You're never going to want to do another concert with me again. Yeah. So Mozart wrote this in 1781, a couple years ago, when he was 25. I was thinking about what I was doing when I was 25, and I certainly was not writing anything, really. Maybe not even taking notes in school. It was written, for those who are interested, in strict sonata allegro form, and it has 3 movements. If you caught our last 2-piano concert, we played the second movement. This time, we flipped a coin. No, I don't know how we decided. We decided to play the 3rd movement because it's full of boisterous fun.
And it's easier.
Maybe for Adrian, it's easier, but just kidding. Is that why we picked it, really? He composed this piece for a performance he was going to give with, I have to read this name, fellow pianist Josephine von Arnhammer. This affects, obviously, the performance of the piece, so you needed to know that. But this is one of the few compositions that he actually wrote for 2 pianos, so I thought that was interesting. The entire sonata takes about 25 minutes, so I hope you guys have no plans for the afternoon. Good? Just kidding. We'll just do the 3rd movement. I'll stop talking.
We've got one more piece for you to close out this half of the program, after which we're going to take a brief intermission. This piece is by Astor Piazzolla, who is an Argentinian composer, one of many around the early 20th century, well, not one of many Argentinian composers, but one of many composers who took their sort of national idiom and brought it into kind of the wider classical music world. In this case, the tango. So, you know, the dance of Argentina, obviously. So this is probably Piazzolla's most famous tango, called Libertango, and we hope you enjoy it.
thank you for staying for the first half. If you'd like to come back, we will redo the first half so I can play more of the notes. Just kidding. We have a whole new half for you coming up, but we thought in this 15 minutes, since it's so lovely outside, we might go frolic, take some masks off, breathe some fresh air, and then in about 15 minutes, come back and we'll play some more. Thank you.
Small kid. Oh, thanks.
Hello. It was mentioned that nobody could, or some people could not hear me with my mask, so I thought I'd show you my shiny, sweaty face. And hopefully everyone can hear with the mask. And this also gives me an opportunity to tell you one more joke. Clearly, so no one will miss it. I know you're all very excited. Maybe I'll tell Adrian first. Hey, Adrian.
Hey, Christina.
Kill the joke here. Do you want to hear the joke about the pencil?
Sure.
No point.
Oh.
The funniest part is I have, in the past, hated these sorts of jokes, but I've taken to embracing them now, so you're welcome. Thank you for coming back for the second half. Our first piece up is called Blythe Bells, and I'm going to ramble a bit, and this will be funny later. This concert, in all seriousness, was planned a long time ago, like eight months, 10, I don't know, a while ago. And although it may not sound like it sometimes, we did practice for a long time. It's just very exciting to have people here. I didn't realize it would be such. But we have also suffered many losses this week, the last week, and of course over all of COVID. And we kind of sort of thought about it, maybe we shouldn't have the concert, but really we couldn't not have it because this piano was coming. So it's kind of hard to rearrange a whole piano movement after a year of planning. So we opted to shift the program a little bit and add Blythe Bells as a tribute to those who we've lost, who everyone has lost over these last few years, who we haven't been able to pay tribute to because of the virus. And I asked Adrian if he wouldn't mind doing this piece, Blythe Bells, because this was my first memory of Glenn Carruthers. He was the dean at Brandon University and also the dean at Laurier. And I had a discussion with my friend from university before this concert, and I said, remember when we saw this in concert? And she said, no. I don't think that actually happened because they recorded it and did it like 3 years before we were there. And I went, huh. So I'm either creating a memory, it doesn't matter. I heard the piece, and it was Glenn Carruthers and Judy Siebert in Manitoba playing this piece. And it just struck me. And it stuck with me this whole time. And I thought, what a better piece, what a better way to offer our condolences to everyone, and to remember Dr. Carruthers, Dean Carruthers. And that was my memory. And I toss it over to, or I'll just keep rambling.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this was actually kind of a sort of funny, morose story in our kind of relationship together. When I was at Laurier, the dean was Glenn Carruthers, as she was saying, and he had previously been at Brandon when Christina was there. We'd never talked about this, not even once. We didn't realize that we had the same dean, which, I mean, you'd think it's not a big deal, but if you knew this guy in particular, it was, because he was just like a force of nature, you know. He was one of those kind of people, like, he met, you know, you think of the amount of people the dean of a faculty of music knows and interacts with on a daily basis, and he knew every single person's name. It was almost like inhuman how good he was at that sort of thing. And he tragically passed away from cancer in 2020 at a fairly early age, unfortunately. And it was this event that prompted Christina and I to, you know, wait, he was your dean too? Oh, he was oh my goodness, you know. And after all this time, realized we had this in common. And anyway, so it felt fitting that we should both pay tribute to him anyway. So, yeah. Now we present, what's the title?
This is fun because it's Blythe Bells and it's Percy Granger's Free Ramble on Sheep May Safely Graze.
Yeah, that's right, yes. And I have to read this one too. These scores are just a minefield of interesting notes. It says, dished up for 2 pianos, November to December 1931. Our next piece on the program is called Concertino, and it's a piece by, yes, yep, thank you, it is, yep. Sorry, I misread the I second-guessed myself, and I was like, wait, no, it's not. Yes, it is. There we go, we're good. Sorry. Concertino by Shostakovich, thank you. Yes, it is. And so concertino, I think anyway, kind of means little concerto. And, you know, those of you who know concertos, they're usually pieces for orchestra and soloist, right? So piano concertos in particular can be these really big, bombastic pieces. And this piece really does fit that mold. Although the funny thing with it, of course, it was never meant to be orchestrated. It's just kind of a really well-written two-piano piece that just kind of follows this mold. I say all this about it being big and dramatic because, you know, as nice as this all is, we rarely had access to two pianos to actually practice this. So in our earliest days, what our practice has consisted of was us in the lobby of Blackboard Sound before hours on two keyboards, on little X stands, and when we were playing this piece, everything was just, you know, just rocking back and forth. So this is great. That is to say, this is much better, and it's going to do this justice. Yeah. Anyway, so in this kind of play, I'm taking the role of the soloist, and Christina's taking the role of the orchestra.
That's how I roll.
Yep. And here we go.
Oh, wait, we couldn't do this, honestly, without our glorious page turners, Natasha and her mom, Virginia. We thank you very much.
thank you again to our page turners. We couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you very
Let's get
much.
another round of applause. I was a page turner for many years. I understand the plight of the page turner.
Although that was part of the hilariousness of rehearsing on the keyboards while we're trying to turn our own pages as well. It was, we should have taken video of that. It would have been fun. When we programmed this, thought it was a brilliant idea to do that and then go into a solo. So, if you don't mind, bear with me. These two pianos are very different, number one. Could we change benches? So over COVID, I decided I should eat all the food in the grocery store. But anyway, this bench squeaks when I sit on it, and it doesn't when Adrian does, so I don't want it to do that while I'm playing. I'm also a little bit shorter than Adrian, so I'm going to use that bench. It's true. Well, I don't know. Dan is not shorter than Adrian. Yeah. But yes, otherwise. So I started learning this piece, I don't know, when I was, how old are you when you're in grade 10? So I started, and I played the first 2 bars for my piano teacher at the time, and he said, no. I was like, all right. He's like, you're not ready to play it like that. And I don't even know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I'm just trying to play it. So I put it away. And shortly thereafter, I also quit piano for 5 years. That's a whole other story. So I never looked at it again. And, well, I didn't never. I'm looking at it now. I brought it back a few years ago, right around the time when Jeanette Steves asked me if I would play this piece for a gala concert. And I'm like, hey, I just happen to have this sort of working on. So I worked on it, blah, 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 performed it, didn't die. It's called Liebestrom. It's by Franz Liszt. And it's especially special. I wrote this out, but I'm not going to read what I wrote. I'll ramble instead. As many of you know, my mom... Nope. So my mom's Hungarian. Yay. And she's not doing very well right now. And I thought I would, because it's Mother's Day, oh jeez. Sorry. I didn't know that was in there. Anyway, I thought I would play this piece for my mom. And because, as you can see, I'm quite weepy. And my brain's not really working all that well. I'm going to use music. I apologize. But hopefully it comes out. I'm just going to take a little second at the beginning. These 2 pianos are very different, and also I'm going to try not to do this through it. So thanks, if you don't mind. Just 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
couple of thank yous I'd like to give. Thanks again to Meryl and Ridley in the booth for producing this whole thing and making us look good, making sure we sound good and everything like that. So you're doing an excellent job back there. Thanks as well to Liz Coates, who's sort of been our designated roadie for the day, and she greeted you at the door and keeping an eye on things. Thanks to Pianovations Music in Blythe for the pianos. No relation to Blythe Bells, different Blythe, you know. But yeah, who donated that piano. And thanks, of course, to Southampton United Church for this piano and for the venue, which we're really happy to have, yeah. Just as a reminder, all of the, thank you to everybody who donated on their way in today. All of our donations are going towards Ukrainian relief and Safe and Sound in Owen Sound, which is it's an organization that is trying to help with the housing crisis in our area, which is pretty near and dear to my heart, as many of you know. I know. Nonetheless, though, yeah, we really appreciate that. As most of you know as well, we had a months-long fundraising effort to bring in the second piano in the first place, which we were successful in doing, obviously. And we reached our goal a couple weeks back, I think, give or take. So thank you to everybody who donated beforehand, which are too many to name. We'd surely forget somebody, but you know who you are, and we really do appreciate it, so thank you.
We definitely had, random people handing us $20 here and there and didn't have the notepad to jot everyone's name down, so thank you.
Yeah, they took us at our word to throw change at us on the street, so you know. Yeah. So we have just two more pieces for you today. The first is one we played last time, now which was 3 years ago, almost, which is just impossible to believe. At that time, we did a few more piano duo stuff, like just two people on one piano, which we didn't do today, you know, COVID, everything, right? But this one was one we did last time in that format. It's Brahms' Hungarian Dance, number 5. And this time we're bringing it to you in 3D surround sound. So that's going to be kind of fun. And then our final piece for you today is a rendition of Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better, which should be pretty fun, yeah. Really encapsulates the theme of this concert, yeah. Anything you'd like to add? No, I put the microphone on. You're good? Okay. All right. we know some of you may have to go, and I understand if you don't like comedy, but we'll get over it.
I won't.
No, but we do have one tidy, short little one for you, just to finish things off in a little more of a mellow tone. Send you off into the world with something other than a hearty chuckle. But this is one we did last time, one that was much requested that we do again, so we're an obliging pair. So it's Nimrod from Elgar's Enigma Variations.
Thank you so much to everyone for coming, staying, even though I left a couple of times. We will, if anyone wants to stay around, we might go outside and we can frolic without masks. Frolic is the word of the day. But a great big thank you to everyone. And I know we've forgotten to thank many people, so just stay tuned to our Facebook page where we will post with lots of exclamation points. But this was obviously very cathartic for both of us, I think, and having the rehearsals to look forward to, having this concert to look forward to. I guess we're just going to have to start planning a third one.
In 3 years?
2 years? 2 years. But thank you so much for coming and sharing in our love of music and putting up with everything else. Thanks.
Thank you all.